Hi everybody, my name is Hanadi Awad. I'm gonna talk to you myself and my friend Dr. Hala Alwan about the Reik method. First I'm gonna introduce myself. I am interested in everything related to holistic medicine, to natural healing, and also resolving all psychological issues. I read a lot about psychology, and I followed the psychologist Mr. Mohammed Kilani since a long time, and I'm aware of all his works and all his researches. So now when he introduced the Reik method and the training, the course about the Reik, I was really enthusiastic about it because it helped me once I did the course to resolve my issues of my family, and as well it gave me a tool to help others and resolve their traumas and their problems. And I would like also my friend Hala to introduce herself.
Hello everyone, this is Hala. Well, I'm a dentist and I am interested in beauty. Actually, I'm a cosmetic dentist and interested in beauty. But the beauty that rises from inside out. And I'm going to tell you about my experience in Reik that changed my life actually. Well, I knew about the Reik method through one of my cousins. We were discussing some book, and in the middle she told me, Hala, why don't you try the Reik? And I replied her, well, I don't know anything about it. She told me that there is an online course published for free on YouTube, and I can watch it and listen to it. Actually, fortunately, it was the lockdown in my country, so I spent 5 days listening to the course. And after finishing the course, I said, wow, this is what I really want in my life. And I immediately registered in the next course. Well, it was the 6th course. And after that, there where I met my friend Hanadi, we graduated from the 6th course, and we became a registered practitioner on the website. Today we are here to discuss some introduction about the Reik, and my friend Hanadi will tell us some info about it.
Thank you, Hala. In fact, the Reik method is an innovative psychological assessment method that was created by the psychologist Mohammed Kilani after his 15 years of practice and research and experimentation on various fields concerning the human psychology. This includes his official academic studies as licensed psychologist that was granted by the University of Jordan in 2008. Finally, he was taking major clues from the research of the psychologist Dr. Wilhelm Reik. The method has been developed afterwards by Mr. Kilani of research, and now he developed a course of Reik that we attended, and he trained so many people to become practitioners of the Reik method, and all of us, the licensed practitioners, are helping so many people to overcome their traumas and to resolve their psychological issues in an effective and a timely manner. My friend Hala, could you please summarize the steps of the Reik method, how it works, that we apply usually in our sessions?
Thank you, my friend. We start with a person from a recent incident. We ask him about his dominant emotion. And after that, we try to establish a logical argument about the whole situation. And after convince him with a logical argument, and he agree with us, we try to go to the first time he had experienced this emotion in his life. And actually, most of the time, it is an age between 2 to 3 years old. After that, we just try to go back a little bit further, just to remind his mind about his original feeling before he felt or experienced that emotion. After that, we try to go around the timeline, like back and forth, until he feels the maximum relaxation. After that, we ask him to immerse in life and experience himself. Sometimes he returns back with a new emotion. You know why? Because there are so many layers of emotions covered by trauma. And when we solve one trauma, there may be a new emotions appear on the surface. Now, my friend Hanadi, can you tell us what's the difference between the Reik method and the traditional psychological treatment?
There is a big difference. I mean, in the Reik method, while, as you said, we hit the real cause in childhood that caused the trauma, we could witness the instant relief in the same session once we hit the real cause and relieve the person from this pain. While in traditional psychological approach, the patient could spend years and years going to psychologists without getting real results, because the traditional method treats the symptoms, not the real cause, and they give like motivation for the person and so on, but the real cause is still there, so the pain is still there. That's why it's a more effective and a fast and easier way to really resolve the traumas and the pain the person is feeling. I'm gonna give you now some examples of what could cause a trauma with the person, especially in childhood. We said most of the traumas start in childhood, between 2, 3, 4 years old. Some traumas start at older age, but the main cause of trauma is really starting at childhood. One of the biggest reasons could be the conflict or the violence between parents, especially if this is shown to kids. I mean, if this is in front of kids. This will like destroy the image and the symbol of the mother and the father in front of the eyes of the child. The other reason could be the physical or verbal abuse. Physical, we say hitting the child, or verbal, shouting at the child and screaming, calling him names or whatever. All of this will cause so many traumas with kids, and they will carry it along all their life till they resolve the trauma. The sexual abuse, all kinds of sexual abuse, verbal, physical, harassment, whatever. The blame, this will develop the feeling of guilt with the kid, and he or she will continue their lives carrying this burden of guilt for whatever they do. Criticizing as well, anything, even if it was like for a joke or whatever, the criticism is a real big cause of traumas as well, and reduces the self-esteem with the person. Other than criticism, we have conditional parenting and conditional love. When we condition the child, if he doesn't behave in this way, or he doesn't do this or doesn't do that, we won't show him love or affection. And even when we punish the child, if he does this or that, if he misbehaves, or if he or she doesn't follow our orders or our instructions, then we will withdraw our affection and love. This will condition the kid to become like another person, to do whatever just to seek love from here and there, from his parents, and even afterwards from his environment, from his friends or anyone. So this is a big cause of trauma as well.
Yes, of course. And sometimes even the injustice may cause him traumas, or the arrival of new siblings also And sometimes the inequality in the treatment between siblings causes the trauma, and also the intimidation. All of these situation causes a trauma to the child and may affect his life dramatically, actually. Now I'm going to tell our friends how could the trauma affect our life negatively. When we have negative thoughts that will absorb our energy and that will prevent us from accomplishing things in our life. It also may have a negative physical effects on our body. It appears that so many menstrual problems may relate to sexual abuse during early childhood. Also, trauma may affect our relationship to our parents and kids and even husbands and everyone around us.
Also, the other thing is it could have the trauma negative effect on our achievements, especially in the workplace. So many people are, even though they love their work, they love their job, and they feel limited and they are unable to advance in their career. This could be related to a trauma in childhood that is not worthy or shyness or whatever, so like lack of self-esteem as well. So the person doesn't really achieve his real potential in the workplace because of all of these traumas. The other thing is the accomplishment as well. As we said, the trauma is like a chain which is wrapped around our, I won't say our body, but around our soul and all our potential. When we resolve that trauma, it's like we're cutting these chains, and the real potential of the person really gets freed and starts to accomplish things and to become more creative and to have more energy to do more and more, achieve whatever he or she loves and wants to do in life. Now I'm gonna mention here as well the benefits of resolving the traumas. One of them is the relief from anger and fear feelings which paralyze us usually. All these negative feelings block us from reaching our potential. Our mind will keep going on and on just thinking of these feelings of anger and fear, and we don't see really the good things about our life or the good things that we could achieve in life. We will have as well better relationship with our family, our parents, our in workplace, with the society, with the friends, because our approach, our vision will be changed. We will be relieved from that trauma, these chains which block us from seeing other people in a different way. Also, we will be healing from so many physical illnesses which are related to psychological problems. As we know, so many feelings are restored in our body, in our organs in a way or another, and they will cause physical suffering, which is not really because of a bacteria or virus or it's an illness. It's just because of the feelings, the negative feelings and negative energy restored in our body. For example, the feeling of anger is restored in the liver, the feeling of fear is restored in the kidneys, and so on. Once these are relieved, and we see that in our sessions, people say, I have this pain and this. Once the session ended and the next day they will say, this pain has disappeared. It's not there anymore. So it's really amazing the results when we get rid of some of these traumas.
Yes, of course, my friend. It's also going to give us more energy and enthusiasm in life. Also, it will. We may have new goals and targets. In our life too. It will also solve our relationship to our parents and maybe husbands, kids, and our beloved people. All of these things will be solved when we solve our traumas. And let us give some examples about trauma and cases which can be solved by the Reik method. as I mentioned, the relationship with parents and kids and beloved ones. Also, when we lose our beloved ones, this kind of trauma can be solved by the Reik method. Also, when we lack trust towards other people, sometimes the kids in his early childhood may having some conversation with some people around him, and he's shocked by their replies, and he lost his trust in them. Actually, this will affect him in his whole life. When we solve this trauma, this is gonna change his life, of course, for better.
Yeah. There is also we have also the low self-esteem problem that could be resolved with trauma. And I have an example of a girl, a teenager girl. She had really low self-esteem. She was unable to express herself in front of her family, her friends, at school, wherever. And when we checked the root cause of this feeling, it was when she was a child. She was hit by her cousins, and when she informed her parents, they did not defend her, or they did not help her. This broke the image of her parents and as protectors and people who could be so supportive for her, and she felt she's invaluable because of this behavior. Also, the feeling of loneliness when the person feels that he's alone and he can't connect with other people around him. The intimidation, the shyness, the perfection. It's a big issue as well because many parents, they ask for perfection from their kid. They don't have the right to make mistakes. They don't have the right to say no, and so on. So this will develop people who will seek perfection all their life, and they want, no one is perfect, and perfection is not there, and all the time they will feel like they are failing to reach this level. The money related issues as well. When people can't ask for enough money for their effort or for their job, or ask for the right salary for their qualifications. The fear as well from so many things, like dark, animals, death, whatever, all kinds of fears and phobias. All of these are related to traumas which started in childhood. The sexual assault, the sexual abuse, also, and harassment. I'll give you an example of a man in his 40s. I resolved a trauma for him. He was sexually harassed by his uncle when he was 2 years old. And this continued by his cousins and his friends at school and so on. So after the trauma was resolved, he felt like he was born, he was newly born again, and he's free from all of these feelings he carried on his back for all of these years. Also other sexual issues like the sadist, the masochist, sexual addiction or sexual addiction on pornography and so on. All of these are related as well to traumas started in childhood. There are some obstacles, I would say, when we use the Reik method, and who can't benefit. In general, everybody could benefit from this method, and it will help them to resolve their traumas, unless if the person is really resistant, won't accept the argument or the ideas the practitioner is giving him or her. Also, the other cause could be the denial, when the person doesn't acknowledge that he or she has a problem, and sometimes it's the family or the friends who push the person to take the session, and during the session we figure out that this person doesn't acknowledge that he or she has a problem and doesn't want to work on it or to do anything about it. So this is another block to really benefit from this method. Do you have other things to add, Hala?
Yes, please, my friend. I want to tell our friends that they couldn't benefit from the Reik method when a person taking antidepressant or anti-anxiety and any other psychological pills, actually he cannot benefit from the Reik method. Also, when the person suffering from schizophrenia, also by the Reik we cannot solve his problem, unfortunately.
Yeah.
At the end, let me tell our friends how can they book a session. Below they will find the link. Through the link they can go to the website of Mr. Mohammed Kilani. There they will find so many practitioners who are certified by using the Reik method to solve people's traumas, and they can speak English, of course Arabic, and some of them can speak French. They can book their sessions in any language they would like to. And the price of the session will be 30 USD when they book a session with the practitioner with the level 1, and 50 USD when they book a session with the practitioner with the level 2.
Yeah. Also, we have examples of the Reik cases which we resolve for so many people on a YouTube channel called the Reik cases. Many of them are in Arabic, there are some in English, some cases in English. And there are many people who were able to resolve their own traumas just by listening to these sessions, because they related to the same issue that they have, so they were able to really feel the relief and get benefit from it. Of course, all of these sessions were registered and published on YouTube upon the approval of the person, the prior approval of the person. No session is registered or published without the approval of the concerned person. At the end, I would like to thank my friend Hala for all the information she provided. I would like to thank you all for the time you took to listen to us and to get to know about the Reik method. I wish everybody really a healthy life, physically and psychologically, and wish everybody a life free of traumas, and to reach all of their potentials and achieve whatever they want in this life. Thank you very much, and wish you all a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye. Have a nice day.